Are you a woman in business? Are you looking to join the growing ranks of female entrepreneurs taking over the world? You've come to the right place. On Babes in Business, we'll be covering all things business from the female perspective and giving you the tools to empower you on your journey. So now, let's get ready to be empowered on Babes in Business. Hello, good evening once again. It's Michelle Dempsey here, your head babe in business, your HBIB. Thanks for joining us for another week to talk about all things women in the workplace. I am your content writer, strategist, speaker, all things geared towards making your business work as best as it can for you. But tonight is not about me. Like I always say, I have a guest with me tonight that flew in from New York, Brooklyn to be exact. I like to call her Brooklyn's finest. But I'll let her tell you guys a little bit about herself. All I could tell you, though, is this is going to be a really good night.
It is. Well, thank you so much for your warm introduction. Hi, everyone. My name is Diana Frustacci. I'm a writer, a blogger, and the founder of feelgoodpreneur.com, which is a weekly newsletter focused around motivation, making you feel good, and using my personal story to do it. And boy, is it a story. So hope you could check it out.
As I always say, if you don't have a story, what do you have? And I love to help people pull that story out to make their business come alive with a little personality.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I think you do that beautifully. But I don't understand why you're thanking me for being here. If anything, I should be thanking Miss Diana Frustacci, I would say my business best friend. I like to call her my business bestie. She's the reason why my business is what it is today. So I think I owe you a big thank you.
Thank you for your thank you. And I believe we owe each other. And I think that's why we're such a great team.
We are a great team, even if we have two completely separate businesses. And that's where I preach Girl Gang. I think you guys know how much I believe in the support women give each other in business. But again, I digress. Talk to me. Feel Goodpreneur. Where did this idea come about? Because you really do put out these newsletters that make people for me, I laugh out loud.
Yeah.
And I'm a tough cookie when it comes to what I read and what I enjoy. Where did this idea come from?
Well, thank you. I'm so glad you laugh out loud. Well, that is the intention. I was just thinking how I could use my personal story, which, again, you did help me feel comfortable with. I was diagnosed with MS in 2012, and for the last 4 or 5 years have been dealing with the crippling emotions of living with a chronic illness. But even before then, I was living with the chronic illness without knowing it, so there's so much involved in that. And I came to a point where I realized I'm a writer, I have a voice, I can help other people, and I'm shameless. Like once I am willing to share a story, I don't care who hears it. I'm like, the world know about me, and if I can help you, then it was worth it. It was worth it for me.
Well, I think it's amazing for anyone who can take their challenges and their adversity and turn it into not only something to feel good about on a daily basis, but something to help other people. And that's something you really do. And you said a quote that I have on my website by Madeleine Albright. It took me a long time to find my voice. Now that I have it, you better get used to hearing it.
No, it's so true. You really better get used to hearing
her voice especially. She's out there.
Thank you. Thank you.
But I want to go back to something you talked on. And I know this is something you and I have discussed in length just because of the type of women that we are.
Right.
Emotions.
Got a lot of them.
Got a lot of them, whether you're dealing with a chronic illness or not. If you're a human being with a heart that beats, there's emotions. And this kind of ties into something that we recently saw in the media. And I'm not getting political. This is not the forum for it, and I don't want you guys to know my political beliefs. But I think we have to bring up, because we are women in the workplace, owning our own businesses, being successful, putting ourselves out there the way anybody else would. There was an interview, and I'm sure you guys have heard of it and seen it, Humans of New York.
Right.
Hillary Clinton was interviewed about her quote-unquote emotional tightrope. And being emotional creatures, overly emotional creatures like you and I tend to be, I know for both of us that was like a huge wow moment to read about the other side of the emotions. And what do you think about that?
Well, I was very appreciative that she shared that part of her truth, and she explained why we may think of her like the behind the scenes essentially. And I agree that, it is a tightrope. Basically what she said, she had to adjust how she responds, and if she reacts a certain way, then she's considered crazy, which if you're a woman, you've been called crazy before just by speaking the truth.
We wear two hats when we show our emotions as women. The word that rhymes with witch?
Right.
And crazy. And unfortunately, whatever, continue.
I mean, yeah, she had to act a certain way and suppress her emotions. I mean, even with her husband and everything, her entire life is in the media. She cannot respond if she's an angry woman. Like, she does have a lot to balance in addition to being a mother and running for president and before senator and, everything that she does.
So I want to backtrack a little bit because she's been accused of being cold, right? So the alternative to that, had she shown her true emotions when, however many years ago, her husband did what he did in the blue dress and all of that, if she showed those emotions, we'd be telling a very different story. She likely wouldn't even be in the place that she's in right now. There's another presidential candidate showing all those emotions that don't make him cold. And I don't know. I don't know how it would work. I don't know if Hillary would be in the place that she's in.
She definitely wouldn't. Or maybe more women would like her because they're like, if she took a knife to her husband's car, like, oh, that Hillary, she's so relatable. I don't really know. It is a challenge. There's so many hats to wear for so many different people. It's literally, and when you're running for president, it's millions of people.
Have you ever found that you faced that sort of double standard in the workplace before you became your own boss? Because I know I have. Any of my former employers watching, you're welcome to talk about I'm an emotional creature. I cry when I'm happy. I cry when I'm sad. And in the workplace, that's really frowned upon if you're a woman.
Definitely.
Have you experienced any of that?
Definitely.
Let's hear it.
I was working somewhere where I was diagnosed. At the time, I was diagnosed, and I was very emotional. And luckily, I had understanding boss, and they were so kind to me, but they're not about to give me a promotion. They're not about to be like, oh, handle so-and-so and so, because if you can't handle your emotions, can you handle other things?
Right.
And I don't blame them because I was very I freaked out at work, and they did the best they could. I've done it many times, and the people, they just don't know how to deal with it. I think they just don't know.
I think for me, once you have like a freak out in front of anybody, especially in the workplace, there's almost no coming back from it. There's no pulling back.
They're like, oh, yeah.
There's a judgment. But then from the other side of things, a man who freaks out and has spit flying out of his mouth when he's angry, making a big business deal, or somebody makes him angry or annoys him, he's this like strong, powerful man not to be reckoned with. So
I think it depends on how well you do your job. I think, for instance, in New York, I didn't get really high in the agency world. But if you're good at your job and you're producing, value and money, I think whether you're a man or a woman, you're going to not get fired, but people are going to call you different names.
I often like to think and joke about what would happen if all the ideas I actually had in my head during frustrating times in my business day came out of my mouth.
Oh, my God.
Imagine. So I think this whole emotional tightrope thing is frankly doing Hillary a favor. Let her be cold, because God forbid she was anything else.
Right. She did what she had to do.
She did what she had to do.
I actually do look at Hillary from a really not political lens as just a woman. Who's really worked her entire life to reach this moment.
Yeah, I agree.
And she has had to sacrifice a lot. She's had to stay with a husband who really embarrassed her in front of the whole world. She had a goal. She was a gold digger, guys. A goal. That's a
gold digger.
Goal.
Yes.
That's a poppin' Instagram hashtag. I don't believe I just said poppin', but
poppin' on the air.
It's
we forgive you, Diana Versace from Brooklyn, New York.
I'm gonna be made fun of, but she had goals and she achieved them, and whether whatever I think of her, I respect that. She had to do what she had to do.
What she had to do, and from the female perspective,
as well.
And this is why I'm not talking about the politics side of it either. It's really just a woman in business, and now she's the ultimate woman in business. If she's about to be our president, and I know what jokes have been made that she's a woman, you don't want to
PMS,
piss her off.
Ha ha ha, you're so funny.
And it's just. My goodness, if we haven't worked so hard to do just as well. I know I'm finally in a place with my business where I feel satisfied with what I'm bringing in and what I'm putting out.
I'm so proud of you and everything.
Oh, well, thanks.
I had to say, girl.
If that were taken down because one day I had an emotional moment, I would be really upset, or vice versa if I wasn't emotional enough. So it's just unfortunate that emotions have come into play as a conversation for her
Right.
in business and not for the other guy. But it is what it is.
I think it depends what channel you're watching
Yeah,
and
that's
how your
true.
news feed is skewed.
Yeah.
Because I believe that that's why I stay off Facebook nowadays, because both sides are just so horrible to each other. Like both sides are
You bring
saying
so
horrible
many good
things.
points. You always, and even in the car ride up here, you had, you know, this is why she's my voice of reason, and this is why my business is what it is, because I've had the support of somebody who's kind of doing the same thing I'm doing, but in a different space. I mean, this is a person living with a chronic illness and empowering other people living with chronic illness to feel good. And what's
Yeah.
better than that? Before I forget, can you plug your business for us? Give us a
Sure.
really good
Thank
shameless
you.
promotion. You know, I'm no stranger to self-promotion, so give it hard.
Okay, I'm going to look right there. Please visit my website, feelgoodpreneur.com, and join the newsletter. It's actually called Join the Effin' Club, but spelled out as a curse word. They
Not
told
suitable
me,
for radio.
Yeah, it's Fuck. They said, like, if you say it, you'll never be allowed back. And I hope you check it out. The first story I share is very personal, very funny, and you're going to pee your pants laughing, just like I did.
I really enjoy, you know, my inbox is flooded every day. So for me to get something that makes me like sort of regroup, it's almost like those moments in my day where I feel I have to go out, take a walk, and like
Yeah.
give myself some energy. You bring me that energy
you.
boost. So I think that your client base and your readers are very lucky.
Thank you
this
so
is going to be
much.
a great journey for them.
I just want to make people smile, make people laugh, make people see that it's okay. Whatever you're going through, kind of like it's your journey, and that's cool, but like get over it. Join the effing club. We all have problems. Read mine and maybe feel better about yourself.
Okay, well, we're going to have to put the kibosh on your
Got it.
language, but thank you very much, Diana.
Sorry.
It's all good. Listen, she's from New York. She's from Brooklyn. I moved down here almost 4 years now from New York, and I had to learn my way, too.
It's hard.
My mouth gets the best of me sometimes, too, but it's all good. This is exactly the emotional tightrope, right?
I've actually cursed at work, and it is frowned upon.
Yes,
it's frowned. They're like,
It's a good thing
sad
you're
face.
your own boss now, my friend.
Don't have
right?
another option, I would say.
No, that's not true. But speaking of options, I think you've taken a really great one for you, and you've helped
Thank
me
you.
take a great one for myself. Again, if you guys don't know me, I am Michelle Dempsey. I am a writer, strategist, and speaker. My website is michelledempsey.com. 2 L's, Dempsey like Patrick, no relation, unfortunately. I speak regularly to women in the South Florida area on the same thing you were talking about, leaving behind the past, getting over it, dropping that victim mentality. I'm very passionate about it.
Right.
And that's why I'll be speaking at the Women in Power Expo, October 15th. Come and see me. My segment has now been scheduled for 3:30. I'll be speaking about exactly what you said, overcoming those challenges. And I think it's really important, you know, for women to know that they have a place that they can come to and feel
Right.
supported. And, you know, it's no easy feat being a woman in business, especially a female entrepreneur. And I've learned as I've navigated the waters with your help, of course. What do
We
you
all
think?
need help.
Yeah. What do you think for you has been the most comforting thing as you sort of now foster this great foundation in business?
Well, I would say the support. Your support, my husband's support. Hi, Vinny, I love you. My best friend's support. I feel I have a lot of support to help me because I don't think you could do it alone. I do believe that we all need a coach in some way, whether you call it a coach or a friend. So that I would say that helps me the most, like people, cheerleaders, and you know, if I ever have a pity party, like my husband's like, "Who's coming?" I'm
Yeah.
like, what? He's like, "To your party, get over." You know,
Yeah.
like, and in the sweetest way he says it. You know,
Right.
just to remind you that there's a lot to be grateful for.
There is a lot to be grateful for, but I think you do have to honor your emotions.
Of
And
course.
as a quote unquote feminist, and I hate that term because all I am is somebody who believes in equality for women, everybody really. You have to honor your emotions, and there
Right.
shouldn't be a label branded on you on those pity party days.
Yeah.
But you know, when it's good to know that when you have those moments, there are people that care for you. You've taught me a phrase I use all the time about teamwork. Say it with me now.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
You need to have good people on your team. You need to have somebody that you could say, you know what, I need good advice here because I don't think I'm handling this the right way. Or take this project for me before I bury my head in a hole. I've had enough for
Right.
today. So it's really important that you bring that up and you mention it.
Right. And to the effect of the pity party, I totally agree with feeling your emotions, but when it goes on like year 4, it's like,
Yeah, year 4
cut
of
a
your pity
girl.
party, you're going to have to call
Yeah,
one of
you're gonna
us.
have to be
We'll
like,
pull
enough,
you right out
enough.
of it. Or join us at the expo.
I'll be like, be better.
Yeah,
Just
I
be
mean,
better.
we're here. We're given one chance to make it great. Every
Yeah.
day that you waste in pity for yourself.
And it's part of the journey. It's part of the process. Emotions are, as you say, it is part of the process. And I do agree that there should be more room for vulnerability in the workplace and in business. And I think we are getting there, thanks to Hillary and all the other women who are being honest.
Hillary is not the first and not the last woman to make a mark in business. And, obviously now with being president, she's at the top of her game, soon to be president maybe. But there's been a lot before her that have really tried to make their way, leaving behind the stigma of I'm an emotional woman. So we'll talk more on that when we come back. Before we go, Diana, I want to tell you I'm so grateful you're here, and I'm so proud of you. I've seen you
so
come a long
much.
way, and you are rocking this multiple sclerosis thing. You wear it
Thank you.
very well.
Mucho strong. That's
We'll
what
be
I
back
have to
after the
say.
break. See you soon. Thank you for listening to Babes in Business. And let me tell you, if you're looking for a lawyer, I've got the guy for you. The show is brought to you by the Dempsey Law Firm, PA, a civil litigation boutique specializing in personal injury and wills, trust, and estate planning. The firm founder and attorney, Elliot Dempsey, serves clients across South Florida for issues ranging from auto accidents and slip and falls to your basic will or trust to protect your loved ones. We've all got loved ones, so he's the right guy to call for it. The Dempsey Law Firm can be found online at www.thedempseylaw.com or call him by phone at 954-667-8120. Tell him Michelle sent you. And don't forget, change is the law of life. Thank you for listening to Babes in Business. I am your number one babe in business, your host, Michelle Dempsey of Very Well Written, the business I founded to help other entrepreneurs get their businesses off the ground with great content, strategy, branding, social media, editing, and anything in the way of words. I've got you covered, www.michelledempsey.com, or you can call me at 305-469-7500. Don't forget to tune in every Tuesday night at 7 o'clock to join me and a fellow babe in business talk all things business. Can't wait to see you there. Are you feeling empowered to be a babe in business? Just when you thought you had all the secrets, I'm getting ready to share some more. We'll see you there on Babes in Business. We're back, and my clock just fell. That means we have another segment for you now. Second half of Babes in Business this evening with Diana Frustacci of feelgoodpreneur.com. I'm your host, Michelle Dempsey, your head babe in business, HBIB. Well, in the break, Diana's here on vacation from New York, so naturally I'm hanging out at her wonderful hotel with her. I mentioned getting massages, and you know why I did that, everyone? Not because I sit around at the spa all day. I never indulge, and I think it's, to have an excuse to do that would be great because I don't know if you guys know that I write for certain publications, but I recently put out an article on the critical need for women to pay attention to their self-care. Mm-hmm. And self-care, as I was told by a very good friend, is not the same as healthcare. It's not, I went to the dentist, I brushed my teeth today, I took care of myself. No. Mm-hmm. Those are needs to keep you healthy. Self-care is a completely different thing. Now being my own boss, being a mom, wearing many different hats on a daily basis, I've learned the hard way that when you don't take care of yourself, there's no getting ahead. I spent a week with strep throat and feeling horrible with a fever, doing the same thing I do every day. And then I really had to pull back and say, if I don't take care of myself, nobody else is going to. Now, for you, this must be major because literally you had to get to a place of chronic illness, of not being well, to realize I have no choice but to care for myself in the best way possible. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Definitely. I'm going to say it's been a very long journey. As I said, like 4 years of really going through the 5 stages of grief, sometimes in the same day, an hour. And I did not take care of myself. And I did not nourish my body or my mind, in the proper ways to keep going, because it's kind of like a car. You need gas. What kind of gas are you putting into your car? How much do you value this body that's taking you through the day? And I'd like to say that I'm improving now. I'm getting better at it. I'm eating healthier. I'm taking my vitamins, and I'm drinking more water, cutting out the soda, trying. And yeah, so self-care is the most important part. And it's not even diet. Like sometimes the lady just needs to get her hair done.
Hello.
Like sometimes I just need to be superficial and pamper myself.
But that's where self-love comes in, and that's the strongest kind of love. And I realized for so many years I was lacking that.
Yeah.
I was so intent on putting my love into everybody else that I'm here,
Yeah.
who's taking care of me? Nobody.
Yeah.
And I used to make I found I used to make excuses if I had a manicure or I was going to get my hair done. What excuse? This is
Right.
me. This is who
This
I
is-
am.
yeah.
I bust my tushy every day to earn a living, keep clients happy, take care of my child, shuffle her back and forth to school 2 hours in the car.
Right.
Like, I'm going to take some time, whether it's going to the gym because Lord knows my brain needs
The
it just
number
as
way,
much as my
yeah.
body, or I'm going to do my hair, kill me,
It's being kind to yourself. And as women, we're talking about as women, I always struggle. I think I love my business, I love writing, and I love working, but I really, really like when my hair is done. I love having a manicure. Like I want to get my makeup, and it's such a hard balance to, like, a woman has a lot of self-care. It's not just like,
It's a lot of
eat some
maintenance
avocado.
to be a girl, right?
Yeah.
But it depends on how you look at it. And I think, and what I wrote about in my piece, coincidentally, unfortunately, 2 days later, was in the news about Hillary with her pneumonia.
Right.
And I
So-
thought, well, isn't she just like the rest of us women, going and going and going? Because God forbid we stop. Who's going to take over? Someone else is going to come through and run us down. And now, poor lady, here she is with pneumonia trying to get to the end of her presidential campaign. Girl, read my self-care piece in Huffington Post. Really, my strategy now is just taking breaks throughout the day. Even
Right.
if
Be
it's
kind
10
to
minutes,
yourself.
to call a friend. Today, I took a break. I had a fully packed editorial calendar. Took a 30-minute walk around my neighborhood with my daughter. It
That's
gave me
nice.
time with her, gave me time to mentally regroup. To me, that's self-care. It doesn't necessarily have to be
Right, it's
something
what
of
works
beauty.
for you, yeah.
And always sleep. Sleep,
Definitely
sleep, sleep, sleep,
sleep.
sleep. How many nights I'd love to work through the night and just get it done when my house is quiet? Sleep. Hillary, you need that too.
You need a nap, honey.
Lay it down. But
Trust
I know,
us, we know.
I know that, but learning from you and how you've sort of pulled back on certain things.
Right, we work together.
We do
I mean,
work
it's
together.
no
Excuse me.
secret, and I did have to pull back because it was intense, and I think we need to listen to our bodies and do what's right for us.
Diana honored her female needs very strongly. Diana and I were partnering together on a project when she called me in a panic and said, "You're so go, go, go. You're always on. You're always out there. I can't do it. I can't keep up. I need to take care of myself." And I was like, you know what? High five.
Yeah.
You own that and you need that. And I respect you. And that's great. And that's
Thank you.
knowing yourself. And I think that comes with maturity.
I wanted
and
to be
growth
honest,
and
and,
being empowered, being a
Yes.
babe in business. I
'Cause
love it.
I knew that we would, we're still not that
Ride or
project.
die.
There's not, yeah.
Ride
It
or
was
die.
like, and you were so understanding of it. And people should be understanding, and they should not feel ashamed that they're, and it took me a very long time to get to this place where I'm like, okay, this is my speed. This is what I could do. And it's okay. Like, if you have a problem with it, maybe write about it in your journal, but I'm cool, man. Like, I'm cool. But it took a very long time to get here.
I agree.
Join the newsletter. You'll
Took me
read all about it.
31 years to feel good in my own skin, to realize what gift I have to bring
Yeah.
to the creative world, how I can stand on my own 2 feet and support
feels
myself
great.
and my family and my daughter. And it feels really good to be in that space. And people ask me all the time, why the radio show? Why all the public speaking? Why the content you put out there? I'm so intent on making other people feel the way I feel. I kind of just ooze it out and bleed it out in such an intense way.
Yeah.
And you understand that about me, and I
Yeah,
know
you're-
that. And you're the same.
It's
So
so
cheers to being
intense. Cheers.
spirit animals.
Let's
Pound it out.
people who ask, like, why have a radio show? Why do this? Why do that? It's like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
do you
I
really
think-
ask that?
But
why
but
not?
there's a growth that happens, which I think leaves some people, with anyone who goes from point A to point B really quickly,
Mm-hmm.
people are left scratching their heads like, wait, wasn't she just a hot mess, like crying in a club? Yeah, like,
Those yeah.
But growth
You know how
happens.
I feel about those people.
Yeah, growth happens, life happens. Life has brought you here down to Florida
Yeah.
to promote Feel Goodpreneur. Give us one more shameless plug.
Thank you so much. My last plug, please join feelgoodpreneur.com. Please visit the website, sign up for the newsletter. read all about my issues to help you with your issues. I really hope to see you there. It's a one-on-one intimate experience with me in your inbox.
And you won't be disappointed. She's a phenomenal writer. She's
you.
also published in Huffington Post, much like me. You've been your work has been well received anywhere you've put it.
Thank you.
I too am a writer, strategist, speaker here for the greater good of the woman. You can find me at www.michelledempsey.com. Drop me a line, michelle@michelledempsey.com. Check us out on Facebook, Babes in Business WNN. Be our friends. Don't forget, sharing is caring. Share the page, hook us up. Don't forget to keep being your wonderful, successful self. Keep it smart, keep it successful, keep it sassy, keep being a babe in business. We'll see you next week. Like they say, all good things must come to an end. But the good news is we'll be back next week with more tips, more secrets, and more strategies to empower you on your business babe journey. Did you like something you heard today, or would you like to join us on the show? Please contact me now at 305-469-7500 or visit me on the web at www.michelledempsey.com. I look forward to connecting with you and helping you become a babe in business.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.